Twitch is nothing without esports.
Overwatch League scandal.
Fortnite on the toilet. And Atlanta's finally famous for something other than The Walking Dead. Dad, dad, da 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 da. Hello and welcome to Screenplay League. Now, while this first segment isn't really news, it's more just Miles having a fun rant because he's very proud and excited to be a member of the esports community. Every single top streamer on Twitch currently is a former or previous esports pro. You've got your Tyler Ones, your Ninjas, your Shrouds, even your Dr. Disrespects. All of these guys at some point in their lives have been heavily involved either as a current professional player or as a former professional player, or in the Doc's case, as a map designer for Sledgehammer Games. He basically built Advanced Warfare's multiplayer maps. This is a fellow who really gets his shit. Now, I mean, aside from all these guys, Shroud included, exceptionally skilled players just make for a better viewing experience. Now, the thing that, particularly these guys have above everyone else is that they're also quite good fun personalities in their own right. And that seems to be the winning formula on Twitch. So for you, watching at home, gotta be good, you gotta be fun, and that's how you get them Twitch Prime subs, baby. Fortnite is now available on mobile devices. That's right. The world's most popular game that is corrupting the youths and adults of the world is now available in the palm of your hand. Think of how long you're going to be on the toilet now at work. Hours. Literal hours while you're chasing them victory royales with your mates. Now, a couple of problems I have with this one is, frankly, playing anything on a mobile is difficult to say the least, aside from card games and maybe like turn-based, tactical chess kind of games. Fortnite is a very fast-paced, third-person like battle royale game. How is the performance going to be handled there on something like an iPad? Yeah, sure, there's going to be Bluetooth, support for peripherals, so you are going to be able to get a mouse and keyboard involved, but it's still going to be on a tiny little screen, and I just don't think that's quite going to work. Now, if you didn't get an invite to the beta, fear not, because anyone who did has a little handful of keys, a smattering of permission, if you will, to give out to you and your mates. So fear not, you might get a chance in there. Lastly, cross-platform play is also available now, so those who are playing on the Xbox will be able to play with players on the PC, and even mobile players if they join a lobby set up by someone on the Xbox or the PC. If you're on the PlayStation, you get nothing, sir. Good day! This weekend, the Call of Duty World League Atlanta stop took place with thousands of competitors and spectators involved and 200 grand up for grabs amongst the pro players. It was a wonderful show with Rise Nation and a North American team winning it in the end, but the real fun story here is that of Red Reserve, the European team who came second place. These guys played over 36 maps of Call of Duty throughout the weekend. That is an absolute fucking marathon. So much Call of Duty. I mean, play 2 games and tell me you're not knackered. Now take that and play it at the highest possible level you can all day on not a whole lot of sleep because of daylight savings and against some of the very best players in the world, all gunning for a shot at like 86 grand first place. I mean, that is insane. They went all the way from the lower bracket to the grand final where they did lose 3-1. But hey, they had a good show. In Overwatch League news, XQC of the Dallas Fuel has been indefinitely dropped from the team after 2 incidents involving racism and homophobia, resulting in massive fines and a complete suspension. Now, the team has 100% flat out dropped him now. The first event caused enough problems, disrupting the lineup of the team. He's their team's main tank, and in doing so, he had to bring Taimu. Taimu being Dallas Fuel's #1 hit scan character. He's a DPS player, an incredibly talented player, had to let go of his role and start playing as the main tank for their team. That causes enough problems for the squad, and now, going into the second stage of the Overwatch League, he's done something again, and now he's causing more calamity for the team. Dallas Fuel aren't exactly doing great this season either, and things haven't been going too well for them. Now, irrespective of this, XQC has completely and utterly thrown away his Overwatch career before it basically even begun. I don't even think he got to play a single match, maybe 1 match out of all of this. He's totally shat the bed here and pissed this away in a horrible, horrible way. This is a guy who went from being Overwatch World Cup's MVP, playing on Team Canada, who basically stole the whole show. They gave the best matches against Australia, they took it to the Koreans, things were going great, and now he has completely ruined this for himself. And this is amongst more allegations of racism and continual sort of toxicity from the Overwatch League players. This is the 4th fine or punishment issued this week by Blizzard in the Overwatch League. So now it's good to see Blizzard cracking down on this kind of toxicity within the league, but the real question is this level of fame and limelight and success a little too much for these players in their early beginnings of their careers? To help me answer that question, it's TV's Nick Richardson.
It is a pleasure for you to have me here.
Hey man. So, these bloody kids,
Yep.
Too much too soon for them. Traditional sports have been dealing with scandal for a really long time. Do you think that esports has just got a bit of growing to do?
Absolutely, that is the problem. So at the moment what we're seeing is a focus on esports seems to be around the legitimacy of it as a spectacle, an event, and I guess as a sport. But we're focusing a lot on making the production values huge, the salaries, the team structures, and all that sort of thing. But with that comes a lot of social responsibility because, as you constantly see in the news, sports heroes going like, "I'm no one's mentor," and it's like, well, I know you don't want to be, but unfortunately, that's what's happened. And I think in this scenario, that traditional sports have just been dealing with this way longer, so they're better at managing their players' behavior and social presence. And obviously there are still things that slip through all the time, but they institute curfews when players go on trips. They ban them from doing certain activities, that sort of thing. Here, I think that we're just seeing a bunch of kids who have been elevated to this high level, and that they're just continuing the behavior that they continued when they were not these famous people, and that as a whole organization, esports teams and particularly the Overwatch League and everyone need to go, it's not enough to ban them after it happens, we need to clamp down on their behavior before it becomes
that's really tough though. But you're right, and there's something we talked about a moment ago, which was off camera. There's an inherent difference between the nature of the the problems that traditional sports and esports have. The traditional sports is usually a lot more physical related.
Because all the games, they're testosterone-filled people.
Yeah.
And so they're physical sports that attract physical people, alpha males.
Yeah.
And then you end up with people who are, being caught getting in fistfights in pubs, or
sodomizing puppies and pissing their own mouths.
And spousal abuse, but maybe the puppy thing. But here, it's not nearly as physical. You're not attracting necessarily alpha males. What we seem to be attracting is a bunch of snarky homophobes.
Yeah,
because you've grown up in this Twitch chat environment where it's funny to be as cruel as humanly possible to strangers.
And now that they're in the limelight, and they are in the limelight constantly because of things like Twitch streaming, because when these players aren't playing or competing on the league, they're going home and they're Twitch streaming. This is a secondary source of income for them. And during that time, with traditional sports, when they're on the pitch, they might do something wrong, and it's typically nothing happens there because it's not like they're being spoken to. They don't get filmed. They're not being mic'd up the whole time. When they go home, you don't really know too much about professional sports fans unless they do something really terrible.
Yeah.
We are literally watching these players almost 24/7. And during that time, the PR guys can't be hovering saying, "Don't say this, please don't say that. Why would you ever call that person this word?" That's literally impossible. So esports has a really big challenge there in managing these players and literally snuffing out this deviant behavior as soon as possible, because you literally can't police this.
Yeah, that's a really good point actually about the fact that they're behaving the way that they did behind the curtain of the internet, and now you've poked your head through the curtain and you need to change that behavior, and that's something that probably doesn't happen that quickly.
Nick, what's the answer here? Because Blizzard can be so, they can be so brutal with their punishments for these players. I mean, but not all of it is doom and gloom, racist, hate crimes, homophobia. There's still players swapping accounts and just breaching Blizzard's EULA agreements in terms of the league, and that's just something that they deal with anyway. But what's the answer for you here? How do you wrap this all up?
Well, I do think that they just need to crack down even harder. So I think that the answer is for the logistic stuff like the swapping accounts and that sort of thing. I think that's very inside baseball, or I guess inside Overwatch, for how the league is structuring itself. But anything that comes to player behavior and the way that these players are being presented, I think that if you just come down with such a big hammer on any sort of negative behavior, I think that it can be short-term pain for some of these players, long-term gain for the league in general. And also, because a lot of people are watching these guys who are their heroes play these games, if you see that kind of behavior being something that is being punished drastically to your heroes, maybe there's a way that starts trickling down into Twitch chat, into YouTube comments, into multiplayer games, the way that when you start seeing the people that you idolize being truly punished for the kinds of things that you do as well, maybe that makes you think twice. But it probably doesn't, because you are an asshole. I
think it might though, Nick, because let's face it, Blizzard have been handing out these kind of bans for naughty boy behavior since last year, June last year. Remember Defran put up that weird cat porn thing, and what did they do?
That's right, yeah.
They dove straight on him. They banned him from ranked.
And it fixed everything. No one said anything racist or homophobic in the Overwatch League anymore.
Let us know what you think in the comments of these kids getting thrust into the limelight a little too soon. This week in the Overwatch League, plenty more matches. Here's our table. My top pick for this winner of the stage is going to be the Houston Outlaws, and I think it's going to be sweet when they win it. Bang, bang, ante up. Bang, bang, Cowboys, bang, 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 bang. And that's it for this week's Screenplay League. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and do all that other YouTubey shit. Look at this video. It's a good one. Oh, the one below it. Is it even better? I don't know. You be the judge. Also, subscribe. Please.